Welcome to the WHHI-TV Daily News. I'm Betsy McDaniel. As always, there's a lot to talk about in the Lowcountry today, so let's get started with our headlines. Much like morning rush hour traffic over the bridges from the mainland, Hilton Head Island is inching toward a solution to that very same problem. The town's consultants have given their preliminary estimates of 4 options for town council to consider for the mile or so of the Highway 278 corridor on the island. The options range from not changing the state's proposed plan much at all, to adding roundabouts at Squire Pope and Spanish Wells Road, to adding an overpass to make turns at either Squire Pope or Spanish Wells, but not both, to elevating an entire section of the roadway to bypass all the surface street traffic that currently exists. That option would come with a $500 million price tag that might fall to the town to swallow. The independent review committee that's been presented these options still has to recommend which option it prefers to the town staff. That will then inform town council, who will make the final decision. The State House and Senate have been pretty agreeable this session on a lot of its legislation, but there might be a divergence on the budget. The Senate wants to speed up a planned income tax cut and spend some more extra money on infrastructure, while the House plans to use $500 million to give homeowners a one-time property tax rebate. 3 House and 3 Senate members are getting together to hash out the differences in the budget. Also still on the table is how much of a raise to give teachers and other state employees. We have just a little over a month until hurricane season officially begins on June 1st, and the official forecast for the season won't be announced until closer to that time. But other researchers say it has the chance to be a real doozy. Colorado State's meteorologists are talking 23 named storms, 11 hurricanes, 5 of them major. A normal storm season is in more of the range of 14 named storms, with about half of them becoming major. The move from an El Nino pattern to an La Nina pattern is the explanation for the big prediction. This is the first winter season where the average temperature over North Atlantic waters never fell below 68 degrees. And those waters we look to for storms are already at levels we usually see in July. As we mentioned last week, prior to her announcement that she was joining the Hudson Institute think tank, we hadn't seen much of former Governor Nikki Haley after she dropped out of the presidential race early this spring. But she has now made another appearance as she finally got to welcome her husband, Michael, back from his deployment with the South Carolina National Guard this past weekend. She said it had been a long year, period, but even longer without each other. Michael Haley has been deployed since last June in South Africa. Haley shared pictures on social media of the reunion with the family and a big Welcome Home Dad banner. And an 1,800 acres of Beaufort County property near Yemassee has been sold. The property was once used by General Robert E. Lee during the Civil War. A family trust had owned the land since the 1930s, but just sold it for $9 million to an LLC called Old Combahee, which lists an Orangeburg address. No word yet on what the new owners want to do with the land that is being used for timber, wildlife resources, and hunting and fishing. It is currently under a conservation easement that would protect it from development. The media sources on your screen will have more on these and other stories, and we would love for you to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at WHHI-TV. And if you have an idea for a news story, we'd love to hear it, so drop us a line at news@WHHITV.com. And now here's Justin Jarrett with what happened last night in the Lowco.
Hey, it's time for Last Night in the Lowco on WHHI, powered by LowcoSports.com. And it's time to celebrate our first state champions of the spring who rep the Lowco. The boys golf teams from Hilton Head Prep and Heritage Academy captured SCISA state titles Tuesday at the Hackler Course in Conway, as the Dolphins edged rival Hilton Head Christian Academy by 7 shots for the 3A title, and Heritage ran away with the 1A crown with the lowest score across all classifications. Gavin of Heritage and Prep's Jack Crousore claimed individual medalist honors in their divisions, and Holy Trinity's Barnes Gooding shared 2A medalist honors. The Lowco knows golf. And the Lowco loves soccer, and the turnout was stellar with action to match last night at the Tank, where May River hosted Bluffton for the second leg of the Bluffton Derby, and the Bobcats earned their revenge after dropping the first meeting. We checked out the highlights and heard post-game interviews from Bluffton coach Josh Fox and center back Khalyl Chaplin on Tuesday's LowcoSports Lowdown. Watch on demand on the Lowco Media Network on YouTube. Elsewhere on the pitch, May River's girls salvaged a split of the night with a 5-0 win over Bluffton. John Paul II's girls and HHCA's boys earned results in the split of a Lowco rivalry, and Hilton Head High's girls lost a heartbreaker in OT against James Island. It was senior night for Beaufort High softball, which amounted to Kylie Rast Appreciation Night. The star pitcher is the Eagles' lone senior, and the honoree did the honors of striking out 17 Hanahan Hawks and scoring the game-winning run in a 3-2 walk-off win. Big rematch Thursday on the road. We'll recap a busy night on the Lowco Sports scene at 10 p.m. tonight on the Lowdown. Hope to see you then. For Lowco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
Thanks, Justin. Now let's take a look at the rest of the week in the weather with Maria.
Thanks, Betsy. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like we'll see plenty of sunshine throughout the rest of this week and going into the weekend, but then we are going to see a morning of showers during the weekend. So taking a look at Thursday, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy, with Hilton Head having a high of 78, a low of 60, Bluffton's going to have a high of 81, a low of 58, and Beaufort's going to have a high of 80 and a low of 60. The sunrise for Thursday is going to be at 6:42 and sunset's going to be at 8 o'clock. Taking a look at the tides, high tide's going to be at 10:54 a.m. and low tide's going to be at 6:03 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week and into the weekend, Friday's going to be sunny to partly cloudy with highs in the 70s, lows in the 60s. Then come Saturday, we are going to see some scattered showers throughout the morning, but it should be clearing up by the afternoon. Then the rest of the day is just going to be cloudy, and then we are going to see another shower later in the evening. Highs are going to be in the 70s, lows in the 60s. And then come Sunday, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy again with highs in the 70s and lows in the 60s. That's it for today. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. After a quick break, we're going to chat with the new Chief of Communications for the Beaufort-Jasper Water Sewer Authority. Don't go away.